They say that hindsight is 2020, so a look in someone else's rearview mirror might help you get a better view of your barbecue road for the year ahead. With that in mind, I'm Chigger Willard, and today's episode of the Low and Slow Barbecue Show offers you a look at my favorite barbecue restaurant experiences of the past year. We'll dispense with the usual website plug. By this point, visit lowslowbbqshow.com. You get blogs, more podcast episode with other Carolina pitmasters. You can follow us on YouTube for video. Today, we're getting straight into my 5 favorite barbecue restaurant experiences in the Carolinas. Wait, hold on. One minute. Okay, for all you people that are watching on video and the listeners, I had to make a hat change there and put on my Carolina BBQ Festival. So for all you folks watching on video, you got to see it. The listeners, imagine taking off the Black Powder Smokehouse on with the Carolina BBQ Festival, so that I can announce that the Carolina BBQ Festival and the Low and Slow Barbecue Show are excited to partner again for the 2026 season, the 5th big year of the Barbecue Festival, the 5th big season of the Low and Slow Barbecue Show, a great combination. We're so excited to be the official podcast for this year's festival, and a lot of really cool stuff coming up between now and April 17th and 18th. That's when this year's festival is. 25 pit masters starting it up on Saturday. And of course, it's all going on in Victoria Yards in Charlotte. Once again, it's part of Charlotte Shout. But there's new news today that I can deliver. Barbecue brunch is set for March 28th. It's going to be at Town Brewing Company in Charlotte. They're going to have 6 or 7, maybe 8 chefs and pit masters that are going to dish up some brunch-themed barbecue bites for Brisket and Biscuits. That's what they're calling it, Brisket and Biscuits. And I'm told there's some other partnerships going to be announced very soon with that. Tickets are coming very soon as well. Just look at carolinabbqfest.org for more details and a link for those tickets. Again, Brisket and Biscuits, Saturday, March 28th, Town Brewing Company in Charlotte. Then the kickoff party, it's coming up Friday, April 17th. This year, it's all things Charlotte barbecue for the kickoff. That means Max Speed Shop, Midwood Smokehouse, Proper Pig. They're all going to be there at Victoria Yards for the Friday night party. And then Saturday, like we said, 25 pitmasters all there at Victoria Yards, dishing up your favorite barbecue bites from the Carolinas and beyond. The pitmaster list is in my inbox, still waiting on the final green light to make those announcements before it goes public. Stay tuned. I'll get that green light, deliver it for you. You can also see it at carolinabbqfest.org. So all exciting stuff for the 2026 edition of the Carolina Barbecue Festival and the 5th season of the Low and Slow Barbecue Show. So so exciting there. Get a sip of water. And now today we can get straight into my 5 favorite barbecue restaurant experiences in the Carolinas. Sorry, South Carolina fans. My favorite experiences were all in North Carolina for 2025. Although my restaurant visits in the South CAC were limited for the year outside of what I got at festivals. And those festivals, that's not going to be part of this list. No festivals. Only experiences that involved a brick and mortar barbecue joint. A lot of these restaurant experiences, actually, they're part of a multi-event day trip. That's how I like to roll. Often with one or both of my kids, maybe the whole family. You know that barbecue is a nice addition to any excursion. And I will admit my family may be getting a little bit tired of it, depending on the groans I'm starting to get when we say, hey, barbecue, where can we find barbecue? Still, if I help them all work up an appetite on some adventure around the Carolinas and then withhold the snacks, they eventually cave in and we get barbecue. So my 5 favorite barbecue joint experiences for 2025 in no particular order. I'm starting with Black Powder Smokehouse in Jamestown. We visited there in June. We just happened to visit on a Thursday, Cheerwine Chicken Day. Man, I like cheerwine. I like chicken. And Ooh, that Cheerwine chicken that Keith Henning and company are cooking up at Black Powder Smokehouse. So good. It's a perfectly cooked half chicken. I also got the brisket and I tasted the kids' pulled pork and the mac and cheese. Woo, it was also good. Lean brisket. It was really moist and tender. Barbecue baked beans at Black Powder Smokehouse. There is so much going on in that little side of beans, and all of that so much is really, really good. Definitely recommend the barbecue baked beans. Also recommend dessert at Black Powder Smokehouse. Please save room. The peanut butter pie is so tall and rich and wonderful. Man, it was so great. Even if you don't have room, get it, take it home with you. Maybe you eat it on the way or eat half before and the other half later. Get dessert. We did this while we were in High Point, that part of the state. We actually, as I said, it was a multi-event day, another excursion. And the excuse was, let's go to High Point Swim Park, and took one of my boys there. If you don't know, it's a great price for a really nice water park there, kind of in the Triad area. It's not Emerald Isle. There's always big crowds in it. Maybe it's not as large and not as many slides, but they still have a lot of cool water amenities. Again, good price point. You can go and spend all day, come in and go out. So if you get there early in the morning and get you a spot there on the patio, then maybe slip out and hit Black Powder for lunchtime and then come back for the afternoon. Not saying that's what we did. Maybe it's what we did. It works out really well. So make it a multi-event excursion and always include barbecue. Speaking of multi-event excursions, that brings me to number 2, Sweet Lou's. And I got to say, a few times during the course of the year, we visited Sweet Lou's, and right around the corner, the Super Abari Gaming Lounge. It's a combo package, Sweet Lou's and Super Abari Gaming Lounge. See, that's how you bribe the children to go on and see the barbecue sometimes. As you may know, I'm in Hickory, and we're far enough from Charlotte to do some touristy things when we come into town. Big Pete with the big feet, you know, the Dambo Troll over in West Charlotte's River District. We've been to the Sullenberger Museum, the Museum of Illusions, all these over the past couple of years. But in the past year, we did some cool things. And all of those visits really require a stop at Sweet Lou's. So again, we hit the Sweet Lou, and then we get on to the Abari Gaming Lounge. But Sweet Lou's, that gives him the advantage, that gaming lounge. The kids love to do it. If you don't know about it, they've got all these pinball machines. There's old school arcade games. There's an Xbox, a giant Game Boy. They've got a bar in there. By the time I'm there, I will admit that I'm full of the barbecue, so I don't need the bar, but we do have a lot of fun playing in the Abari Gaming Lounge. And on Saturdays, when you go down, Saturdays and Sundays, actually kids get in there to enjoy in the afternoon, and my kids definitely do. We're here for the barbecue. That's, again, why we started this thing. And again, at Sweet Lou's, I've had almost everything on the menu: the smoked fried wings, his sausages, pulled pork, brisket, most of the sides, the brisket baked beans, mac and cheese. I think I got the red slaw last time, had the white slaw before, hush puppies. I have to get on Sweet Lou. The boiled peanuts were not ready on my last visit. So that is the only side I think I've ever had. I occasionally go for collards. So I admit I haven't had the collards at Sweet Lou's, but all the stuff is really good. We like to dine in. He's got all the sauces out there. If you want them, put them in your little cups, put them on the meat if you want to. You don't have to. But the sauces make a nice complement to it. His patio at Sweet Lou's, he's been doing some upgrades over there, added some nice vinyl siding there. So for the winter time, it's nice and warm inside the patio. You got a cool spot in all weather, really, I guess in the rain too. Nice spot to eat barbecue. He's also added a bar out there. So he's got a couple of taps, 2 or 4, I guess, and a full bar, and serving you up there on the patio. You go in and get your barbecue. You sit on the patio, have a cold beer. Is a perfect spot for lunch or Free Beer Friday, or some of the special Sweet Lou has cooking up during the athletic season. You know, the NFL playoffs are coming up. Next around the corner will be NCAA basketball, and then we're back to football again. So check out Sweet Lou's on a weekend or anytime. And then around the corner, Abari Super Gaming Lounge. Another multi-event excursion that included barbecue of the year, making it a favorite barbecue experience. Number 3, Lexington Barbecue. we did that after a day out at historic Old Salem community. This was back in February. It was President's Day, I think. The kids were out of school, so I dragged them over to Winston-Salem for that. And I will say I've enjoyed Lexington Barbecue many times. I've driven past it a few more times, but this past year was the first time I'd ever visited. And I got to Honey Monk's, and everything there you find is about what you'd expect. I was surprised a little bit to see curb service still alive there at Lexington Barbecue. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. That's part of the tradition, right? You pull up, you honk, they come out and take your order, they bring your food to the car. Now, I didn't do that, but I saw it happening while I was around back checking out the wood pile as well as the fire going back there. And it is good to see fire burning at places like that. It gave me a chance to talk to the man working hard, tended that fire around the back. He was loading wood into the fire as we were talking. Actually, he told me they burn 2 truckloads of firewood every single day at Lexington. So that's a pretty regular trip for the firewood man to come in there and check them out. While I was there, my order, coarse chopped, heavy brown, crinkle cut fries, and red slaw like Meemaw used to make. And I will say, I make it pretty good too, according to all the cousins and aunts and uncles of Meemaw. I say it's pretty close. My recipe's on the website, lowslowbbqshow.com, if you're interested in that. I talked to Nathan Monk at Lexington Barbecue, not on this trip, but at a previous Carolina BBQ Festival. And he explained his is a little bit different, and you can taste a little bit different. He says the vinegar he's able to buy in food procurement's a little bit different from what they sell you in the grocery store. I think maybe they're using 40 grain. The grocery store's selling 50 grain. I'm not sure exactly what the grain count is on what he's using. Maybe it's 60 grain. Anyway, he says it's a little bit smoother, and you can taste that in what you get there at Lexington Barbecue versus I like to be a little heavy-handed with the Worcester sauce too. So that gives it a little extra flavor there for me. We went on a mid-afternoon visit. Like I said, it was President's Day on a Monday. Still plenty busy. Late lunch, early dinner regulars were in there. If you haven't been, check out Lexington Barbecue in Lexington, of course. And if you haven't visited the Old Salem community in Winston-Salem, you really should visit there too. It could be part of a nice Charlotte day trip. So you hit Lexington, either going or coming from Winston-Salem, and seeing the Old Salem community. They got a nice artifact collection, a lot of old furniture, artwork. If you don't know, they've got historic reenactments of life in Old Salem, a lot of information about the Moravian community and its role in North Carolina history. To me, sort of an outsider, it was interesting. I didn't get all that in elementary school. I was learning the Battle of Horseshoe Bend and Moundville and all that Alabama state history. So it's cool to go in and see the Old Salem community. And my kids were really engaged in it too, because they really kind of can see what the way life lived and sort of the things that they did with their making in the rifle shop or the bakery or the different things. Several blocks around that little area, you can take a walking tour. You can spend several hours, then get back in your car, Lexington Barbecue. Next up on my top 5 favorite barbecue experiences of the past year, Hugh's Q for National Barbecue Day. Hugh's Q in Hickory, of course. And if you don't know about them, check them out. They're on Highway 70. On this particular experience, it was a group of friends, big plates of barbecue, loads of sides, and introducing new people to a new restaurant. Hugh's Q is really turning out some great smoked meat, but not everybody's heard about them somehow. I don't know how. I keep trying to bang that drum, but people are finding out gradually. And every time I visit, I get something different. It's always good. Sometimes it's a brisket sandwich or pulled pork. Those are a couple of my regular go-tos, like the sides they have there. The ribs are nice. And you can see Brian, the man behind Hugh's Q, out there working the pit every day when you come and go from Hugh's Q. And on this particular occasion, it was National Barbecue Day. Had several local friends. We connected and went out for barbecue there. And yeah, as you all know, barbecue with friends is always the best barbecue. Whether you buy a giant tray and go all in or go separate and share, it's a good way to get a breadth and depth of a barbecue experience at a place like Hugh's Q. And then when those friends, like I said, are their first timers at a place, that's even better. It's always good to convert folks. And if I'm not converting them maybe from another barbecue restaurant, I'm showing them, hey, there's some other places maybe you don't know about. They've got really good barbecue at Hugh's Q. And that's just one of the ones that we like to talk about. Also, what I love about Hugh's Q, they got local sports memorabilia into the bar. So I've sat there there a few times there. You get quick service, a lot of sports photos of Lenore Ryan, other area high school teams. So it's cool to see all that stuff. An atmosphere like that is really part of the flavor that always sets our favorite local barbecue joints maybe a little bit above some of those other options out there. Speaking of local flavor, got to talk about my weekday lunch confession for Cranford Brothers Barbecue. It's been a popular solo spot for me over the past year. It may be why I feel like I probably gained 20 pounds in the past year. A lot of that went on at Cranford Brothers, and it's been one of my favorite experiences at a restaurant over the past year. I can always go in, and sometimes I'm short on time. Sometimes I want to hang out, especially if it's a late lunch on a Friday. I always go in and sit at the bar and maybe have a City Walk beer, maybe not. I always know I can get in for lunch, get food quick and good, and get back to work at the house, which, by the way, in case you're wondering, half a mile, 2 minutes by car, 10 minutes less by foot. So yeah, a regular stop, and yeah, easy for me to go and put on a bunch of weight, eating a lot of good food there. And speaking of that good food, I'm a creature of habit. And once I find something I like, I always stick with it, or most of the time anyway, especially at my favorite or regular favorite barbecue restaurants. And at Cranford Brothers Barbecue, I got a couple of go-to orders I'll share with you. I've probably heard about them before. The Dr. Sticky Bun. It's a Dr. Pepper sticky barbecue sauce on pork belly with pickled veggies and aioli sauce and fresh herbs and an amarasso roll. Man, it's so good and sticky, and the herbs and greens make really a nice light taste touch for the sticky pork belly. And always a big plate of food. Chef Ben Sullivan there at Cranford Brothers Barbecue has really created a cool kind of a concoction there for you. But for me, my current favorite, I'm keeping it simple. Smoked turkey on a roll. You can get it on Texas toast. I want it on a roll with pickled veggies and slaw. Yes, put all that stuff on there. If you want it on the side, you can do it on the side, but I like to have it all on there. It comes in there, and it's such a great, tasty bite. The smoked turkey is probably the best meat, in my opinion, that Cranford Brothers is putting out there in a pure meat kind of way. Love the smoked turkey, really good. And then with all the slaw and veggies, man, it's every bite is just such a wonderful bite. I always come with one side. I usually go with corn pudding or the sweet potato or the jalapeno grits or the beans. Again, haven't had the collards. All that stuff's good. Like to get an appetizer with it as well. I recommend the Texas Twinkie. It's a bacon-wrapped jalapeno stuffed with cheese and brisket. If you don't get that, maybe the deviled eggs or the catfish nuggets. Don't see catfish around an awful lot. Fried catfish nuggets there at Cranford Brothers. That's a good option there for you. Try it out. And there's always too much food, whatever they give you. But, like I say, big backs, they're going to big back. I did make it to South Carolina for 2025 and squealing on the square and Lawrence and Hogs and Hens in Abbeville. Man, there were a lot of great barbecue from competitors and food trucks at both of those events in South Carolina. I'll also say I went to Lewis Barbecue in Greenville, and that was the only restaurant I hit in South Carolina last year. Somehow, I don't know why. Each time I was going by Fort Grove, he wasn't open at that time, and I didn't ever really make it over towards Columbia. But I did hit Lewis Barbecue in Greenville on a trip. Man, it's good. Really good. I mean, yeah, really, really good. And I highly recommend Lewis Barbecue. But if I'm keeping my list to 5 favorite experiences of the year, that's going to be number 6. So sorry about that, Lewis Barbecue. Love you. Mean it. You're number 6. Outside the Carolinas, I'll give you 3 stops. Yeah, I'm going to leave out Lewis in one, but I'm going to give you 3 outside the Carolina stops. I'll be quick about it. Maybe someday I'm going to stop talking about Rusty's Barbecue and Golden Rule Barbecue, but today is not that day. I do have another favorite outside the Carolinas that I'm going to offer for you here in my list of 3, but hold tight. First, for the plug for Rusty's Barbecue in Leeds. We did that again, making it a great experience after a day at Barber Motorsports Park. Let this be a commercial for that place. Rusty and his team have a cool spot in Leeds, Alabama. It's just down the road past the Buc-ee's. It's in an old hamburger place. It's a Jack's, if you know what Jack's, if you feel me there, Jack's Hamburgers. You can see it when you pull up, see that old history in the thing. It's got a cool old school kind of patio out front with some concrete tables and Cherry Barbecue, a lot of local memorabilia in this place too. Birmingham Barons, Leeds football. There's some Barber Motorsports stuff. Just a really cool interior, and the food is always really good. Again, I've had just about everything there on his menu. Really enjoy it. Of all the things I'm going to recommend, it'll be the black eyed peas. He's got the best ones I've ever had, and his dessert, coconut cream pie. He says it's a family recipe. It's also among the best desserts I've ever had. It wouldn't make you want to slap your mama, but it would make you want to give mama a big hug and tell her thank you for this recipe if that's where it came from. Again, Rusty's Barbecue in Leeds, and it's near Barber Motorsports Park, just about a 15-minute drive, I think. And if you don't know about it, check that place out too. It's a museum with more motorcycles and cars than you will ever see in one spot in the world. I can almost guarantee it. They've got 1,000 motorcycles on display, and these giant elevators filled with motorcycles, and they're hanging from the roof, and they're whirling and twirling on dirt tracks around the whole facility. It's unbelievable, all the number of motorcycles that you see. He's got a Lotus collection. They're all parked and stacked end on end and wrapped up in weird ways, and it's really a cool spot. If you're a motorhead, check out Barber Motorsports. Get details at Barber Museum. That's Barber, Barber, barbermuseum.org. And if you ever go to Talladega for the race or go to Birmingham for something else, Barber Motorsports is a must-see. It's about 15 minutes away from Rusty's Barbecue. Again, make it a nice day. Two things, Barber Motorsports and Rusty's Barbecue. Golden Rule, didn't have a side project for that. It was a solo quest for me. I hit that in the past year. And again, you guys know, if you listen often, it's a hometown favorite for me. I've got a lot of sentimental memories of Golden Rule, especially that Irondale location. So cool. They got the perfect sauce. And when you order up a pork sandwich, get that outside brown pickle, always like I remember on that sandwich. And remind you guys, Golden Rule won the Guinness World Record. It took it away from the BBQ Fest on the Noose. They sold 6,215 sandwiches at 95 cents each. And that was when they were celebrating the company's 134-year legacy. That's right. They've been serving barbecue there since 1891. They call it the oldest barbecue sandwich in America. And one of the pit masters there, Sammy, he's been there 50 years. They've got a bunch of other long timers on staff. Had a chance to meet all those folks as Daniel, the marketing man there, gave me a tour around the facility. Brian Kemp is doing such a cool thing there and running that restaurant and kind of expanding on it. He's also got some future expansions in the bakery area, I think, as well as some catering operations. And they offer food sales there at the nearby Veterans Hospital. So always love to hear the cool stuff going on at Golden Rule Barbecue. If you get to Birmingham, give it a shot. My last spot in the favorite barbecue restaurant list of 2025 for the outside the Carolinas visit. Once again, we're going back to barbecue adventure combined to make a great experience. And on this one, it was a full family adventure. That adventure was hiking Watkins Glen as part of a road trip to upstate New York. If you haven't been there, I highly recommend you take this trip. It's so cool. Unusual place, unlike almost anything else on earth. Get there early, beat the crowd. That's the Willard strategy. And then hike the Gorge Trail down and back. It's about 3 miles. You'll see 19 waterfalls, 200-foot cliffs that you can walk in and amongst the side of the river as it's coming through, and you're down near all those waterfalls. You can't get in and swim. That's okay. Don't do that. But it is a really cool experience to see. And then Watkins Glen, the town, you've probably heard about it. They run some NASCAR races up there on the road course every year. The town's really a cool spot too. We went to Nichols Barbecue, really a nice facility. They got an indoor-outdoor area, really cool patio. It's very pet-friendly, people-friendly too. And they had a wide menu of smoked meats, all of it really good. Nickel Barbecue also runs another location in Cornell. They're around the upstate New York portion, not Cornell, I should say Ithaca, near Cornell, in the upstate Finger Lakes part of New York. So check out Nickel Barbecue. Our order, I got the half chicken. It was the smoke of the day on that day, and it had such a great hickory smoke flavor, very evident and what I was eating. And the rest of the family got the pulled pork, wings, brisket. I think there was a bacon and blue cheese sandwich in there. or maybe it was a cheeseburger. I'm not sure. It's super good. We really enjoyed our experience. I will say they had 4 sauces on the table. One of them was a Carolina air quotations. It was a South Carolina mustard. So I guess technically that's a Carolina sauce, even for mustard. Didn't really love any of the sauces, got to admit. But the meat was really good enough without the sauce. So you don't need the sauce. Don't add the sauce. Keep it to the side. Let the meat stand on its own. With that, folks, those are my particular takes on the favorite barbecue experiences of 2025. I kind of looked around over the past couple of weeks. Some of my brothers in barbecue that are out there in the blogging and social media world shared a few of their Carolina barbecue favorites over their particular platforms. You can read Barbecue Brothers Wrap 2025, revisit some of his Carolina barbecue reviews from Monk, Speedy, and Rudy. Those are the 3 barbecue brothers. Damp Good Barbecue and Cary, City Limits from West Columbia, Real Q from Winston-Salem. Those are sort of their Carolina barbecue stops from the past year. BarbecueBros.com for all the details. You can read all about them and get their reviews and their hog rating, whatever they decide to rate it. Don't miss the information that Monk shares about his whole hog cooking experience. You'll want to read about that because they offer some cool tips about what you might want to do or not do in the case of cooking a whole hog. Another one of those barbecue bloggers out there in the world, the Smoke Sheet. I guess they're more of a newsletter. They put out the best barbecue moments and bites of 2025. That includes a recap of the year's barbecue features from North Carolina and South Carolina. We were proud to contribute some of those. Among those other features, barbecue blogger John Tanner's South Carolina barbecue experience were detailed in the Smoke Sheet. He reported on Palmyra Barbecue in West Ashley, as well as the Doco Rib Fest in Blytheville. If you're interested in those 2 things, check out John Tanner's take on it. The Palmyra, really great barbecue. You'll want to get John's take on it. You can do that at bbqnewsletter.substack.com. That's for the Smoke Sheet, and check out Tanner's take there. Or you can check out Tanner on his own blog. In fact, he's doing a 2025 best as part of his research tour of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. So he's recapping some of those. Some of those recaps so far have included Grady's, Elliott's Barbecue Lounge in Florence, South Carolina, as well as Rodney Scott's in Charleston. John Tanner's bbqblog.wordpress.com. As you chart your barbecue journey in 2026, some of those resources may help you pick your best must-try spots. And if you find any great new spots along the way, be sure and give us a heads up. You can email lowandslowbarbecueshow@gmail.com or message us on Facebook and Instagram. Our family likes to get out in the world of adventure, so we check out the Carolinas and the South quite a bit. If you know a place that we need to visit, I want to hear all about it. Thank you for giving us a glimpse into your own barbecue journey, and thank you for listening to today's episodes. That's the final word for the Low and Slow Barbecue Show. Big shout out to the team at the Mesh.tv, especially our producer, Andrew Moose. All those folks help make this podcast possible through distributing the Low and Slow Barbecue Show alongside a really broad library of other great podcasts. Visit the Mesh.tv for the Healthy AF podcast. They've got Madigan's Pubcast, Inspiring Charlotte with Designer Insights, a few other podcasts really for all interest. You can check it out at the Mesh.tv. Thanks as well to Carolina BBQ Festival coming up very soon, less than 100 days away, April 17th and 18th, CarolinaBBQFest.org for tickets. And of course, if you visit lowslowbbqshow.com, you'll find our complete podcast library, as well as a lot of interviews with pit masters for the barbecue festival this year. You can get that at lowslowbbqshow.com, as well as a lot of our great episodes, our blog, and our newsletter sign up. For the Low and Slow Barbecue Show, I'm Chigger Willard, reminding you that for the best barbecue and the best barbecue podcast, make it low and slow.